Hello, my name is Clara Sander Carter, and I'm the Director of Professional Learning for Mind Research Institute. I'm so pleased to welcome you to this webinar, Intro to ST Math for Parents. So without further ado, let's introduce you to ST Math. At ST Math, we set out to give students, teachers, and families a different way to experience math. We believe that math is a global shared human experience. It's everywhere. It's everything. And for everyone. The more we share the universal experience together, the deeper our appreciation for math will grow. Did you know that 70% of students in K-12 education exit not proficient in math? They lack the deep conceptual understanding that will prepare them for STEM, for future careers, and later in life. We, both as an education industry and as a society, have not built the neurocircuits necessary for students to gain a deep understanding of math. But at Mind Research, we have a solution for that: ST Math. We are so excited because since we first announced that we'll be offering ST Math for free during this crisis, we have added more than 500,000 new students, more than 17,000 new teachers, more than 2,000 new schools, and you're in this group, more than 14,000 homes. This helps get us closer to achieving our mission. Our mission is simple: to reach every child, to ensure that all students are mathematically equipped to solve the world's most challenging problems. We endeavor to achieve this mission by creating a comprehensive solution that works. So what do you know about this ST Math? In your chat, use the emojis to tell me, what do you know? Smile if you know a great deal, question mark if you don't know anything at all. That's awesome. So we've got some folks in between. Oh my goodness, am I boring you already? Some folks are going to sleep. Oh, JK, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. So we have a mixed bag. Some folks know a lot about ST Math and some don't know anything at all. That's great. I'm glad you've all joined me today. I hope that the things that we discuss will be of value to all of you. Let's talk for just a moment about what makes ST Math so special and different. ST Math is a visual learning program. This enables all students to have access to mathematics instruction. ST Math provides real-time, immediate, informative feedback that teaches students. It shows them why their solutions were correct or incorrect. ST Math builds a deep conceptual understanding in carefully structured learning sequences of math content that moves students from the visual to the symbolic. All of this while building intrinsic motivation, perseverance, and problem-solving skills. Students learn that making mistakes is the pathway to success. Let's take a look at how ST Math does this. Let's start with a traditional math problem and compare it to how ST Math teaches the same math problem. Now, when you see a math question like this, apart from fear, what is it that you immediately do? You think to yourself, what was the formula? How do I solve this? In your mind, solve the math problem. Go ahead and throw your solution in the chat. Awesome. Okay. Well, most students answer C or D. Now in the chat feature, tell me why you think that is. You are so right. That's right. The majority picks C or D because they add across the top or across the bottom. Let's take a look at how ST Math teaches this same math problem. We start with the same problem. And ST Math builds a conceptual understanding of the fraction. As you can see, the orange pie is 7/8 and 12/13. Now, a student working in ST Math would be thinking to themselves, they are very close to 1. They're very close to a whole. And so the answer is approximately 2. We want students to think this way, even when they're presented with a problem like we had originally. We want to represent math in a way that facilitates this conceptual thinking. So let's take a look at the program and see how the program shows the same type of math problem. This is called Gigi cycle. Now, as you can see, Gigi is sitting on some fraction pies, and I can move the balloons. Now, the object is always to get Gigi where Gigi wants to go, and I think Gigi wants to go for a balloon ride. And Gigi has to roll out this cycle to the right spot on the number line based on the fractions that Gigi's standing on. So, for this one, it's 3/4 and 1/4. So 3/4 and 1/4 is 1. Let's see if that's the solution. Oh my goodness. So the blue meant one thing and the red meant another. So without directions, with just the visual, I can solve this and try again. My mistake gave me the informative feedback that I needed in order to solve this correctly. So 3/4, back a quarter. Let's see if that works. It sure does. And I progressively move through the puzzle, learning along the way. So out a whole, out 3/4, back a half, and off Gigi goes. So in the gaming sequences, this puzzle would get progressively harder for students as the students learned more and more how to estimate fractions on the number line. Ooh, barely got Gigi into the basket that time. I'll do one more. Out 2 and back here. Let's see if I did that right. Ooh, barely got Gigi in the basket. Gigi cycle is just one great example of how ST Math uses the game-based design to teach a visual and conceptual understanding of the math. What a fun way to do fractions. Let's shift our focus a little bit from learning about ST Math to playing a little bit. Let's dive in and see what is it like to be a learner in the program. And you'll learn a little bit about supporting your learner. So while students are playing, it may come up, who is Gigi? Well, Gigi is our ST Math ambassador. Gigi accompanies students through their math journey. We don't assign age, gender, or other identifying features, so students can make Gigi into whatever type of friend they would like. Well, what's Gigi doing in the puzzle? Well, in every puzzle, the object is to get Gigi across the screen without encountering any obstacles. The object remains the same in each game. Therefore, the questioning support remains the same too. What stands in Gigi's way? And what needs to happen for Gigi to get to the other side? The notice, predict, analyze, and connect cycle occurs quickly and naturally for students while they're working in the program. But if you can encourage your students to think in these terms, it can help them figure out how to get Gigi across the screen. Let's practice the cycle for how your students might experience it. We're going to first notice on the screen. How does ST Math help students notice? And based upon what you noticed, can you predict about what you should do? Then we're going to analyze the informative feedback and make connections to solve the next puzzle. So let's do a puzzle together. This is my favorite game, Pie Monster. Now you'll see Pie Monster throughout the different grade levels teaching different mathematical concepts. In this case, Pie Monster is teaching addition and subtraction situations. So we're looking at it to review the notice, predict, analyze, and connect cycle. Now that happens really fluidly and quickly, but sometimes students are stuck because either they're not noticing something, or they've made an incorrect prediction, or they're not analyzing that informative feedback, or they're just not connecting from one puzzle to the next. And so when you're watching students working, those become your prompts, those become your questions to help them along. So first things first, if a student asks for help right now, I have 0% progress. I've made no attempts at this level I can see in my progress bar. I still have 2 GGs. I'm going to ask the student, well, what have you tried? Well, they're going to say nothing. And I'm going to say, well, what do you see? And, well, I see Gigi, and I see the boxes are in Gigi's way. And, oh, look at that. I see that I can choose some pies on the pie monster's back. And looks here like the pie monster wants to eat these 3 pies, but I also see 2 pies down here, but I don't understand why they're there. And automatically the student begins to make a prediction, and based on what they see. And they make a movie in their mind about what they think is going to happen. And this is where risk-taking comes in. We have to be willing to just take a risk based on our noticings and make a prediction. And then we analyze the feedback. We analyze our solution. So I'm going to try 3. Oh no, what happened? So I watched the animation and I noticed that these 2 pies went up here to join the 3, making 5 pies total. So let me try 5. So now I am analyzing and I am kind of making some connections here. Let's see. Very good. Now Gigi can cross the screen. So now let's connect with what I just learned. Now I know I've got 1 here and 4 here. They're going to pop up here, and that's going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 altogether. And that notice, predict, analyze, connect cycle happens more fluidly and quicker as the students grow towards mastery. So now I've got 1, 2, 3. Boom, I can answer it here. And as the student works through the puzzle, they get better and better at the puzzle. Now, as we move through the levels of challenge, the puzzle may challenge the students' thinking, challenge their flexibility in thinking. Now, take a look at this. Same puzzle. We're working between addition and subtraction here, so now we've made it basically a subtraction problem. So we have 5 on the monster's back, already filled in for us, 3, and so perhaps 5 minus 3 is 2. Take a look at that. So we've got some flexibility built into this. And same thing, we've got 7 on the monster's back, 5 here, 2. Same solution, different subtraction problem. I'm not going to go through all the levels, but I want to show you how we build in the level of challenge. Oh my goodness, now we have some filled in on the monster's back, but not the conveyor belt, but down here as well. Whew. What do we have here? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 down here. Last time they popped up here, but I don't think that's the case. Let's try it. So I have to take a risk. There we go. It was correct. And now I'm going to try that again. 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 here, or 6 rather. It's even challenging me. Very good. So we've got another degree of difficulty. Oh my goodness. And now we have them on the back and on the conveyor, but not down here. Whew, what do we need to do? Perhaps 3. And it gets more and more exciting and more challenging. We're going to mix it up throughout this puzzle. And we're going to flip-flop missing add-ins and oh, clear. So one thing that I did mention was that Pie Monster does reappear in the same learning sequence, but you'll notice that It is another level of challenge. We've got subtraction here. So the games do come back, and as the student works through the games, they're achieving mastery, which in this case is mastery in addition and subtraction situations. So when your students are working in ST Math, they may ask for help. The best way that you can help your students is to help them through the learning cycle. We have a wonderful set of facilitating questions that you can use to help guide you until you become more proficient at the learning cycle. When your students are stuck and don't know what to do, ask them questions that help them notice. What have you tried? What's standing in Gigi's path? What parts of the puzzle can you click? When they're coming up with a solution and making a prediction, ask them to explain their thinking, make a movie in their mind, draw out what they think is going to happen. Sometimes students are stuck because they're not analyzing the informative feedback, or the informative feedback goes too fast. There is a trick to seeing the informative feedback slowed down, and that's called teacher mode. We will show that in another webinar. But for now, encourage risk-taking and watching the feedback to make connections to solve the puzzle again. So when you're helping students analyze, is what did the animation teach you? What happened after you clicked it? And when you're making connections, you're asking students, well, what did you learn in previous puzzles to help you solve this puzzle? The facilitating questions can be found on ST Math Central if you're a homeschool user, or on the parent resource page if you're supporting a school account at home. Now, one of the most frequently asked questions is, how much ST Math? Well, ST Math has a recommended number of minutes for student use. Kindergarten and first graders, about 60 minutes per week. Second grade and up, 90 minutes per week. Some of your students will really love playing ST Math, and they'll want to spend a lot of time playing. That's all right for them to go over a little, but it's really important that students take the time to synthesize what they learn. Take some breaks. 20 to 30-minute sessions are plenty. You can do some really great things to enhance their learning and help them do that synthesis. One thing that's also super important that I share with you is how to exit ST Math. As you can see, there are quite a few clicks to exiting the program, but it is imperative that students exit the program correctly so that their work is saved. It takes approximately 6 clicks. This video says it best. It's important to exit because otherwise all their data is lost. So in their screen, click back, and back again, and back, and back, and back, and one more time, back. Now I'm going to pause on this screen because this is one of those things that you can do to ensure that, number one, your students log off and save their work properly, and number two, to really enhance your ST Math time. Stop and celebrate. Feel free to make a chart or download one of ours to track student progress. You can do fun things like, out of construction paper, put a thermometer on the fringe and track the number of puzzles up to 1,000, and then it's maybe a reward for 1,000 puzzles, or track your minutes or your progress, whatever you choose to track. But that would be a great way to ensure, number one, they're logging out properly, and number two, that they're really getting a lot out of their ST Math time. So once they click that X, the bubble goes up, and what I say with the little ones, Gigi goes night-night. When you see this screen, you know that students have saved their work properly. Another thing that we really recommend you do at home is encourage students to use scratch paper while they're working in ST Math. That way, when they get stuck, they have something to write on or draw or work out their problems. Another thing you can do is give them manipulatives. Lots of fun household things that could be used for counting. Really highly recommend using Legos for base 10. If you notice when we did that Pie Monster puzzle, those were base 10 sets on that Pie Monster's back. And so if you have 10 blocks all the same color, you can work on your base 10. You can find some of those downloadable and printable things, but one of the best things you can do is just grab a spare notebook and every day record your progress. And for the little ones, you can have them draw what they did in ST Math, or you can have them write a sentence about what they learned. There are all kinds of fun things that you can do to enhance their learning in the program. Older students might want to use an accomplishments log like this. So all of these resources, if you are a homeschool parent, can be found in ST Math Central. And I'll show you how to get there. We also, for those of you who are supporting a school account at home, have created a special parent resource page for you. Take a screenshot there of that bit.ly, and I'll show you how to get there in a moment and navigate to find some of those wonderful resources. And go to stmath.com. On the coronavirus page, we have a link for parents as well. So we have lots of resources in response to this time at home. And that resource is, the actual URL is stmath.com/parents/ or -math-resources. But like I said, I'll show you how to get to those places. So let's take a moment to figure out how to find those resources just so you feel prepared to support your students. The first place and the easiest place to find some resources to support a school account at home. So your student has ST Math through school and you're just trying to help them along, is at stmath.com. And right here up top on the orange coronavirus banner, just click Learn More. And whoa, man, that's incredible. Just since this morning when I was recording and preparing for this, an additional 40,000 students. Oh my goodness, an additional 4,000 homes and an additional 500 schools. Well, if you scroll down this page, you can see resources for teachers, students, and parents. And the ST Math Parent Resource page is right here. And that's where you'll find all of the wonderful things that I talked about today, extensions on learning, and your facilitating questions are here. So there's a great resource for you to support your students. Now, if you have the homeschool version of ST Math, you can log in. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. I also promised to show you that bit.ly page, that fun ST Math resources. That's here. And if you go to that page, you'll see all kinds of cool printables and coloring activities as well. And there's some great ways to track student accomplishments and progress. So if you have an ST Math account because you are a homeschool parent, you can log in by clicking the green login button at the top. And when I click that button, you'll be taken to this black login screen. Now, students log in by clicking GG in the center, but teachers, and if you're a homeschool account, you're the teacher, and you click teacher login up here. It takes a second. A Flash Player blocks the loading of that screen. You might have to enable the Flash Player. And if you go into managing your pop-ups, you'll be able to manage and add ST Math, so it won't pop up for you every time. So click Login, and it'll take you to your GG console. And I have a principal view, so I'm going to change that super quick so it looks like yours. And you can see that takes me to my class card. And if you have 3 students at different grade levels, you might have 3 class cards just like me. And if you want to play the games, you can go to Test Drive down here. But to go to ST Math Central, you can use your console as well. Just a trick is if you type in stmath.com/central right here, it'll take you to STMath Central too. You might have to log in. So homeschool parents, we have a brand new page just for you here for just those just-in-time things that you need to learn to support your students for now. But also you have some other help that you can access using the program, and lots of cool things here, especially if you look under printables. I love some of these resources. So that's how you find some of those things. But most of all, I really encourage you to join that Facebook ST Math community and join us and other parents as we help one another and support one another during this time. We are going to continue to build that out and put resources and tutorials there for you. Check for more learning coming soon. It'll be on that coronavirus page. There'll be a link there for more learning. And at home, encourage perseverance and risk-taking and a growth mindset. Students will reach a point sometimes in the program that's called productive struggle, and that's good, and that's where real learning happens. And so encourage that, stay positive. You can do this, and we are here to help. We are so impressed with how many parents have joined our community, and we are working together to ensure that all students are mathematically equipped to solve the world's most challenging problems.